You are listening to WTUZ Radio Podcast. Welcome to WTUZ Radio Podcast. I am your host, Rhonda. Today's topic, and this will be real quick. I saw running across my YouTube feed that there was some sort of new, we're going to call it like the WikiLeaks, except this is called Pandora Papers. And it is about some tech people that has basically leaked the financial transactions of some powerful folk. And pretty much these folk are hiding assets. I am assuming tax shelters. So I wanted to share this with the family. I find it very, very interesting that Biden is proposing that banks report transactions on every account that's over $600. Okay. I reported on that a couple weeks ago. Now note, that would mean they're pretty much in your bank account a lot. All right. I don't know too many people whose rent or mortgage is $600, let alone other transactions that you do. So they want to get down. My point being, they want to get down to that level with the public, getting in the public's business. But yet, as I pointed out in that particular podcast, you have corporations like Amazon, who is an oligarchy at this point, who is a $1 trillion company on its way to become a multi-trillion dollar company, which is about the GDP of some small nations and even some medium-sized nations who pay, and Amazon pays little to no taxes. And now, yet again, here we have these Pandora papers. So let's take a quick look at this. This is from The Guardian. Pandora Papers' biggest ever leak of offshore data exposes financial secrets of the rich and powerful. Millions of documents reveal offshore deals and assets of more than 100 billionaires, 30 world leaders, and 300 public officials. The secret deals and hidden assets of some of the world's richest and most powerful people have been revealed in the biggest trove of leaked offshore data in history. Branded the Pandora Papers, the cache includes 11.9 million files from companies hired by wealthy clients to create offshore structures and trusts in tax havens such as Panama, Dubai, Monaco, Switzerland, and the Cayman Islands. They exposed, and just side note, if you all watch the Showtime's show called Billions, dude just ran off to Switzerland. So I just had to throw in there. But Switzerland has always been known as a place where folks can hide money and also run for haven if they are under some type of financial investigation. But anyhow, they exposed the secret offshore affairs of 35 world leaders, including current and former presidents, prime ministers, and heads of state. They also shine a light on the secret finances of more than 300 other public officials, such as government ministers, judges, mayors, and military generals in more than 90 countries. The files include disclosures about major donors to the Conservative Party, raising difficult questions for Boris Johnson as his party meets for its annual conference. More than 100 billionaires featured in the leaked data, as well as celebrities, rock stars, and business leaders. Baby, they putting everybody's business in the street. See, that's one thing about tech folks. Don't be messing around, honey. They know how to get to that data. Many use shell companies to hold luxury items such as property and yachts, as well as incognito bank accounts. There is even art ranging from looted, child, shut up. There is even art ranging from looted Cambodian antiquities to paintings by Picasso and murals by Banksy. And I on that Billions, I'm telling you, y'all, that Billions series on Showtime, I learned how they be hiding assets up in that artwork, y'all. I was like, what? But anyhow, the Pandora papers reveal the inner workings of what is a shadow financial world, providing a window into the hidden operations of a global offshore economy that enables some of the world's richest people to hide their wealth, in some cases pay little to no taxes. Now, y'all hear that? Some of the world's richest people to hide their wealth, and in some cases pay little or no tax. Now, I'm not trying to get down on the wealthy with the quote, quote, tax loops, because, hey, you hire tax accountants, which they do. Okay, so those of you that have businesses, tax accountants, tax attorneys, to show you how to maximize those tax laws to your benefit. I have absolutely no problem with that. Do you, boo? That's what you supposed to do. But now, when you go to the level of you're hiding assets for the purpose of not paying taxes, I would even be okay with that. I'm not finna sit up here and lie, but what I'm not okay with is that you're able to do that, but yet Biden wants to, on the public, document every transaction, $600 and above. Now we see, now we got a problem. Okay? There are emails, memos, incorporation records, share certificates, compliance reports, and complex diagrams showing a labyrinth corporate structures. Often they allow the true owners of opaque shell companies to identify for the first time. Okay, so shell companies are another thing. Another way I know that they hide assets. Okay, and some said, and some say in the higher up underworld, for as far as like the drug game and all of that, that they use shell companies as well. The files were leaked to the International Consortium of Investigative Journalists in Washington. Child, I'm surprised they still even have that. But okay, whatever. But the tech people, I'm assuming, leaked it to this ICIJ. It shared access to the leaked data with select media partners, including The Guardian, BBC, Panorama, Le Monde, and the Washington Post. More than 600 journalists have sifted through the files as a part of a massive global investigation. Child, I'm sipping my morning coffee. The Pandora Papers represent the latest and largest in terms of data volume in a series of major leaks of financial data that have convulsed the offshore world since 2013. Setting up or benefiting from offshore entities is not itself illegal. See, I told y'all. And in some cases, people may have legitimate reasons, such as security, for doing so. But the secrecy offered by tax havens has at times proven attractive to tax evaders, fraudsters, and money launderers, some of whom are exposed in this file. Child. So let's go to the Pandora Papers. All I did was click this link. Okay, so remember, this is this is off the Guardian family. All right, so here's the Pandora Papers. This is the Guardian's link. And child, they straight up giving updates. So you can see the updates from today. Just a little bit of them. EU actions against tax havens is inadequate. Money from world's biggest bribe scandal invested in UK properties. Child, they have been straight cutting up. But it was one that I wanted to look at real quick. The South Dakota, child, I did not know this. They then learned me something new. I heard this briefly yesterday, and I got too busy, had other things to do than drop the podcast yesterday. So here we go. Because I heard about South Dakota being a tax haven. I said, child, shut up. Pandora's paper reveals South Dakota's role as a $367 billion tax haven. So now, child, I don't know about you. We talking $367 billion. That's just housed in the South D. But yet, Biden wants to dig up in my bank account for transactions $600 and over. Child. Some trust held in Midwestern state linked to individuals or companies previously accused of misconduct overseas. But yet you want to dig into the populace? Personal bank accounts? Child. All right, so I may have to register. But I'm going to do it later. Because, yeah, Guardian, honey, you finna to get a bunch of people flocking to you. Shall I even give you a little donation? All right. South Dakota is sheltering billions of dollars in wealth, some linked to individuals and companies accused of financial crimes or serious wrongdoings, according to documents in the Pandora Papers. The file suggests the U.S. Midwestern state now rivals Switzerland, Panama, the Caymans, and other famous tax havens as a premier venue for the international rich seeking to protect their assets from local taxes or the authorities. Child. Was right up here in the old US of A. Now, us thousandeers, we ain't know nothing about no South Dakota or the South D. Let me keep going. Wealthy foreign individuals and their families are moving millions of dollars to South Dakota's trust funds. I keep telling y'all about them trust funds. I have told y'all that several times about the power of trust funds. which enjoys some of the world's most powerful legal protection from taxes, creditors, and prying eyes. Again, I keep telling you all the power of trust funds. The U.S. has previously faced international criticism over the ease with which shell companies, which can be used to perpetuate tax fraud and financial crimes, can be incorporated in the state of Delaware. Now, anybody in business, not anybody, a lot of people in business know to incorporate in Delaware. Okay. But the Pandora Papers, a leak of 11.9 million files from 14 different offshore services providers around the world, reveal how the U.S. is also emerging as a key location for trusts, which are typically used to shelter the personal wealth of super rich individuals rather than multinationals. Now, again, they're telling you, they're putting you up on game of what trusts are really used for. Okay? And it's really the way that you should be passing down wealth. It's really the way you should really be operating your financial business in general. Okay? That's why, remember when Trump card was in office and they kept telling him to reveal his tax returns, he laughed in their face. He knew he didn't have to because everything he did operated out of trust. And what could they do? Because he didn't own any assets, the trust owned the assets, right? So let me get back, but I can't stress that enough, because as you move forward and you're talking about building generational wealth, and as you accumulate assets and you want to not only protect those assets, you want to leave a legacy. You want to make sure that businesses still remain and that whomever your family members are benefit, but you want to make sure that they do not abuse or totally destroy what has been created. And that is especially true when you are talking about property. And Black melanated people should understand this the most, as millions of acres have either been stolen or either family members have lost them through negligence or just sold the assets. And I'm talking land. A trust would protect you from those things. Okay? All right. So I'll get off of that public service announcement. All right. But they were saying that, okay, they're used to wealthy people using trust, but rather than multinationals. The International Consortium of Investigative Journalists and the Washington Post said their analysts of the data had identified 28 trusts in the U.S. to individuals or companies previously accused of misconduct overseas. The disclosure will be a major embarrassment for the U.S. President Joe Biden, who upon entering office pledged to lead efforts internationally to bring transparency to global financial systems. Yeah, that's what Joey B said, but I ain't seen him do a thing. Instead, he's putting forth legislation to dig up in your bank account. Sips my coffee. The papers were leaked to the ICIJ as U.S.-based journalism nonprofit, which shared access to them with The Guardian, the BBC, the Washington Post, and other media partners around the world. According to a 2020 State report, South Dakota burgeoning trust industry holds an estimate of $367 billion in assets, a sum approaching the annual economic output of the Republic of Ireland, up to $75.5 billion in 2011. The phenomenal growth has been supercharged by the state's aggressive drive to attract money by shielding trust owners' assets from foreign governments' taxes and even from former spouses. I'm telling y'all, the power of them trusts, baby, it ain't nothing to be played with. It's nothing to be played with. Okay? But let me continue. Well, just put you up on game just a little bit. If you have family land, if that family land is in a trust, and in that trust it is stipulated that only family members can benefit from the land. They are the beneficiaries of that asset, and it cannot be transferred to anyone but blood relative. So guess what? You can marry somebody if you want to, and you think that you finna get that family land. If it's in the trust, baby, you might as well have several. You might as well have several seats, because they can't even give you a doggone thing. You better make old boy buy you something else. Okay, now your children can benefit, but you ain't finna get that boo. Okay, that's the power of a trust. South Dakota's moves have inspired other states to liberalize their trust regulations, a phenomena that helped the U.S. overtake Switzerland in the Tax Justice Network 2020 global ranking of countries most complicit in helping individuals hide their finances from the rule of law. More than 200 U.S. trusts appear in the Pandora Papers data, sheltering at least $1 billion, while South Dakota emerges from the leak as the most popular locations with 81 trusts. Florida, Delaware, Texas, and Nevada account for a dozen more, and none of those states shock me whatsoever. I don't think Florida has a state income tax. Texas doesn't have a state income tax. I'm not sure about Nevada, but I know a lot of people incorporate in Nevada because I think they have some of the same lax rules as Delaware from an incorporation standpoint. Okay, so here they're breaking down. South Dakota is the U.S. state with the most trusts identified in the Pandora Papers. Okay, and they're kind of breaking it down. All right. Okay, so here we go. Okay, so let's move on to money laundering allegations. Among those from whom South Dakotian trust firms have acted are a Colombian textile magnate who was previously fined $20 million by U.S. authorities investigating a major money laundering network. Oh, that's not suspicious. Colombian. No, that's not suspicious at all. Jose Duer Ambar set up a South Dakota trust in 2013, according to the files. However, less than a decade earlier, in 2004, U.S., UK, and Canadian authorities had announced the dismantling of a massive Colombian money laundering ring in which Duer had been partly implicated. The Colombian black market peso exchange laundered millions of dollars accrued by narcotic traffickers. U.S. authorities alleged that Duer had repeatedly purchased millions of dollars in BMPE systems over a period of years. Duer, who died last year, agreed to forfeit $20 million in connection with deferred prosecution agreement and the settlement of a civil asset forfeiture action. If you all have not, if you have Netflix, there is a series called Ozark. They were supposed to be bringing it back. I think they have 3 or 4 seasons. Watch that series. It's really entertaining, don't get me wrong. But in addition to that, it is all about shell companies and money laundering. Okay, so it sounds like dude, Duerv was the front money launderer for these cartel. So although 20 million may appear a lot to us, I'm sure this South Dakota avenue is not the only thing that only area where money was being put. Okay, so probably for them 20 mil was not a lot. Of course, they don't want to lose it, but nonetheless. So yeah, if you want to watch something entertaining and not only that, kind of understand the money laundering game, check out Ozark on Netflix. Prior to establishing the new trust, the trust providers made inquiries about his history. Duer's representative described his involvement in the BMPE scheme as an unfortunate experience in a reply to offshore provider. The case arose from a transfer of US 190,000 to a bank in the UK using a broker who had been highly recommended to Mr. Duer as an honest person by other wealthy Colombians, the representative says. Unknown to Mr. Duer, the broker was unlicensed and had also received US dollars from persons involved in narco trafficking, and that led to Mr. Duer's problems. That explanation appears to have been sufficient for the provider, although the total sum sheltered in the trust is unclear. Email correspondence suggests a previous entity linked to Duer contained as much as 100 million. Ciao. In a separate 2019 case, a trust was settled by the family of Carlos Morales, the former vice president of the Dominican Republic and chief executive of Central Romania, the largest sugar producer in the Dominican Republic. The trust controls assets of at least 14 million. Morales died in 2014. Ciao. 24 plaintiffs tried to sue Central Romania via its U.S. shareholders last year, accusing it of forcing workers and their families off their land at gunpoint and destroying their homes. Whoa. In a separate legal case, Central Romania was accused of exposing workers to toxic chemicals while working in fields without protective gear. Ciao. A spokesperson for Central Romania, George Sturla, said U.S. courts had dismissed both of the legal cases against the company. He said all employees were provided with PPE and that the firm had been defending its land against squatters and had never illegally evicted people. Child. Yes, a lot of building going on in the DR. I'm never going there again just because the whole dynamics between DR and Haiti. But before I really knew what was going on, the times that I were there, I saw a lot of building going on, and I saw that the roads, when the main road that I was on, was being built by a Chinese firm. So that does not surprise me if they're talking about kicking people off of their land. Records in the Pandora paper shows that the Morales family moved money to South Dakota in 2019 after the government of the Bahamas mandated the creation of an ownership database for legal entities. A lawyer for the Morales family told the ICIJ and the Washington Post they had never been involved in the operations of Central Romania. They did not respond to questions about why the family's assets had been shifted from the Bahamas. In a race to the bottom, the family behind the ISIS or ISIS group, an Ecuadorian conglomerate with interest in real estate, media companies, and sugar production, are also using South Dakota to hold their assets. Estefano, who co-owns the ISIS group, along with his brothers, is named as the beneficiary owner of 3 trusts. What? Although the family is established in the U.S. and even made donation to the Obama campaign, it has also attracted controversy. Child. Estefano's brothers, Roberto and William, were convicted of embezzlement by an Ecuadorian court in 2012 following the collapse of Filabanco, then one of the country's largest banks. Child. The collapse wiped out the savings of tens of thousands of his customers, and the brothers fled to Miami in 1999. The brothers, who were briefly detained by the Federal Immigration and Customs Enforcement Agency, ICE, in 2019 and released after posting $1 million bond, have long denied any wrongdoings in the Filabanco debacle. Child, $1 million was nothing compared to, I'm sure, what these folks lost. Child. In a statement to the ICIJ, the ISIS brothers said the allegations and charges against them had been contrived by Ecuador's former president and former president for political reasons. Robert and William ISIS have been victims of unprecedented political prosecution by Ecuador's corrupt authoritarian regime, which included the illegal seizure of all their assets and a show trial in absentia, they said. In a statement to the ICIJ and the Washington Post, Brett Affadal, the director of the South Dakota's Division of Banking, which regulates financial services in the state, cited various measures his department could use in order to ensure compliance with state laws. He said trust company providers were vetted before they could begin operating. Chuck Collins, the author of The Wealth Hoarders, How Billionaires Pay Millions to Hide Trillions. Child, I'm going to have to check that book out. And the director of the program on inequality at the Institute for Policy Studies, said the situation with regard to South Dakota was an embarrassment for the U.S. We are the weak link, and South Dakota is in the race to the bottom to be the weakest link on trust, said Collins. We have seen the hidden wealth apparatus, but it is always considered offshore. Yeah, that's why I'm straight blown away that the South D is caught up in this drama. The more we understand that it's onshore, the U.S. is a weak link, and we are now the magnet for kleptocratic capital, the better for the national understanding and the greater the potential for national legislation. The Guardian's investigations have brought about a change for the better. Our investigation into offshore wealth have helped recover billions for taxpayers. The Snowden and Cambridge Analytica revelations sparked a global data privacy movement. are reporting on the U.S. chemical industry impacts. Oh, wait a minute. Is that them pitching their stuff? Let me just read it. Are reporting on the U.S. chemical industry's impact on communities of color inspired new policy. All right. I think this is them pitching themselves. Okay, yeah, that's them pitching themselves. But I mean, this is a good thing. Guardian, and I am going to give you all a donation. I think you all did an excellent job. So again, I'm getting this off of the Guardian. This one is Pandora Papers reveal South Dakota's role as 367 billion tax haven. And so the last thing, Child Wikipedia done put out a list of the people that's named in the Pandora Papers. Honey. So you can see, oh boy, King of Jordan. We talked about Dominican. Dad, the president of the Dominican. I don't even know what that particular country's name is. Cyprus. Woo, child, y'all see these countries: Kenya, Ecuador, Chile, Congo, Ukraine, Colombia, El Salvador, child, Spain, Peru, Honduras, Panama. Trying to see. Okay, the Czech Republic. Child, there go Dubai up on there. Lebanon. Okay, so what, child? Shut your mouth. Tony Blair up in the papers. Child. Tony Blair from the UK. The Prime Minister of Italy. Trying to see. Okay, so even Haiti, Minister of Haiti. And remember when, if you all are familiar, I did a podcast on Haiti. And in that podcast, I was giving you all the history of Haiti. And what y'all have to understand that Haiti is in the situation they are in because of their leaders. Okay? All of their leaders have been on the take. Okay? All of their leaders are appointed. All right. So even back to when they revolted to get from up under the control of France, ultimately France still wind up controlling it by placing leaders that they want in Haiti. Okay. And that's why every time Haiti has a revolution, those same said leaders hightail it back to France because ultimately that's where their behind was from in the first place. Okay, so this is no surprise to me that they're saying former Prime Minister of Haiti is up on that list. Y'all see two CEOs of Hong Kong are on the list. Child, you better stop playing with me. Child, the managing director of the IMF, former manager. Child. Okay, who else? I'm just trying. Yeah, Pakistan, we see. Dang, there go an EU commissioner. Trying to see some US people. Okay, because child, I'm trying to get to it. And they bringing up some bankers that's on here, but all of them are like Pakistan, Brazil, media, but all of these are overseas media. Russia, they got one of y'all folk on here from the channel of Russia, Channel 1 Russia. Child, I'm trying to go through this to see any US people because I'm side-eyeing. Did y'all take the U.S. people off this list? Oh, dang, Argentina's daughter and former president of Argentina, Carlos, is up on the list. I'm trying to see. Another European Parliament. Child, they just telling on y'all. Okay, a French National Assembly person up on the list. Okay, we know the more Colombian folks are on it, more Dominican Republic folks. Royalty. Child. King of Jordan, former King of Spain, Princess of Morocco. Child. All right, so business people, Indian business people. Okay, here we go. So they offering up some U.S. people. Wait a minute. Robert F. Smith, American investor and CEO of Vista Equity Partners and of the Democratic Party. Let me just real quick, y'all. Yeah, that's who I thought. Child. Clutch pearls. This is the melanated man that donated a bunch of money to, don't quote me, I can't remember if it was Morehouse or it was a bunch of money in general for melanated people, black people, to go to college. Child. Okay, the Reynolds CEO, Robert T. Brockman. Child. Oh, heck no. So Jared, they just gonna call you out as a drug smuggler, baby, and former CEO of high-tech pharmaceutical. Dag. David R. Hinkson, convicted of criminal and founder of Water Oz. Okay, that's not a lot of people from the U.S., y'all. Side-eye. Child. So somebody that's a close friend to Putin. Two people that's close friends to Putin. So Russia, they airing out a couple of your folk. But none of the politicians. Okay, so I'm just trying to go through this list. Okay, Mexico. Yeah, I'm side-eyeing that too. Because Mexico only has 2 business people on the list. I'm side-eyeing. Okay. So let me keep going through this. The Philippines, y'all have a few little people on here. UK, they kind of aired y'all dirty laundry. They aired y'all dirty laundry. So that's the list so far. Let me see others. Robert Durst, they have a picture of you. Convicted murderer and real estate heir. Child. Carlos Kepsi, an American lawyer. Oh, Martin Zarkadalus, convicted drug smuggler for the Colombo family. Okay, so all of them up out of the U.S. Oh, baby! Tony Blair, you done. You done, son. So not only do they got you, they got your old lady, too. Child. Elton John. Child. Ringo Starr of the Little Beatles. Another person's old lady from Britain, leader of House of Commons. Child, art dealer. I told y'all that they be hiding them assets in that art. So another art dealer up out of Britain. Dang. Okay, so somebody else linked to Lady Tina, linked to the Princess of Monaco. Child. Okay, some model. Well, at least you was smart to try to move your little money around. Okay, I'm trying to see who. Oh, I shouldn't be laughing. Ciao, Shakira. Well, you are a Colombian singer. Oh, boo, dang, boo, you didn't got exposed on a little list. Dang, mommy. Child, let me see who else. Organizations. Ooh, clutch pearls. Apple. Abbott Labs. Baker McKenzie Law Firm. Nike. RJR Nabasco. That's out of the U.S., y'all. Child. So that's the Wikipedia list. Who's so far, and that's just a partial list. Child. So we're gonna have to keep a watch on this to see what goes on. So again, if you want to keep a watch on it, let me see. Wait, it was in here. My bad. Let me go back. This is, and I'm using The Guardian, but you can see they have live links and all of that. You know, they dating on what's going on. So I'm going to keep an eye on this, fam, and give updates on, something that really stands out. So, I know I said this was going to be short. My bad. I had to take a break and all, do something else and come back. But child, this is interesting. So thank you for being patient with me. This is Rhonda with WTUZ Radio Podcast. I wish everyone well on this Tuesday. Peace and love, family.